Are you looking for a different kind of travel experience? Well, why not try a cruise? The Norwegian Cruise Line, one of the largest cruise lines in the world, is making its much-awaited return to the Asia-Pacific region this year. This is great news. Joining us now from Sydney, Australia is Ben Angell. He's the Vice President and Managing Director of the NCL Asia-Pacific. G'day, Ben. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
It's a pleasure to have you, Ben. I'm great as well. This is an exciting bit of news for Filipino travel enthusiasts. I mean, when was the last time the NCL made its way to Asia? And what were the factors that you considered in making this happen? This is exciting that you guys are in this part of the world.
Yeah, it certainly is. We're thrilled to be returning to Asia after 3 long years. We've long been committed to the region, and we're increasing our commitment to the region. Asia is important to us both as a destination and also as a sourcing market. And we've really got 3 priorities with our operations in Asia. We obviously want to encourage international guests to visit Asia on our ships. We want to encourage guests from Asia to sail internationally, to visit our ships in Europe and Alaska. And we also want to promote close to home cruising for our Asian guests. So really exciting time for us to be back. Fantastic part of the world for NCL.
Yeah, for people who are new to the idea of cruising, I think getting yourself to a destination where the cruise can start from is another thing that you have to take into consideration when you actually want to try a cruise. But in order to cruise from your home court, so to speak, it makes experiencing a cruise a whole lot easier. Now, you have a number of ships at NCL, but one that's seasonally deployed to Asia is the Norwegian Jewel. So tell us more about this particular Asia season for this ship. How long usually is the trip, and what destinations are going to be included?
Yeah, so the first ship that we're going to have back into Asia after that 3-year break is Norwegian Jewel. She's going to be returning in October of this year. She's coming off an extensive refurbishment just a couple of years ago. So in all effect, she's like a brand new ship. She's a fantastic vessel, about 3,000 guests. We'll be sailing an extensive 6-month season with a focus on destination immersion. So the ship will be sailing 10 to 14 days long voyages. There'll be 16 voyages in total. And there are 10 departure ports, including Bangkok, Bali, Tokyo, Taiwan, and for the first time ever, Manila. So this is the first time that the NCL brand has ever cruised from the Philippines. And there are going to be 4 cruises visiting the Philippines. There'll be 4 ports, Manila, Boracay, Salamag, and Puerto Princesa, and 12 calls in total. So this really is NCL coming into Philippines for the first time.
Fantastic stuff. What can travelers expect in terms of the activities and sites on board the ship? I mean, these are floating hotels. There really are a lot of fun. Tell us a little bit about this idea of a different way to travel.
Yeah, so for me, one of the very best ways to travel is by cruise. You have the benefit of unpacking only once.
Yeah.
You've got all of your entertainment on Norwegian Jewel, 16 restaurants, 15 bars and lounges, Broadway quality entertainment, and a fantastic Mandarin spa on board. So you've got all of the amenities that you could wish for in a resort, but you're traveling to multiple destinations. And as I mentioned earlier, NCL has a real focus on destination immersion, taking our guests to explore the very best ports, the very best parts of Asia on our ships. So it really is an unbeatable way to travel. One of the other benefits with Norwegian Jewel is her size. So she takes 2,300 passengers. She's smaller than some of the other ships, and that gives her the opportunity to call into some of these really interesting and smaller ports.
Having said that, it's often hard for me to imagine leaving the ship once you're on board because they are so comfortable. It is such a fantastic experience to be on board, but really the fact that you do get to experience different sort of ports of call, particularly here in Southeast Asia and the Philippines, it's going to be a new experience even for people who are coming into this region from outside. What are the big trends? What are people looking for when they cruise down this way?
Yeah, it's a great question. So destination immersion, number one. For our guests who might be visiting the Asia region from North America, from Europe, or from Australia, they're looking to see some of the jewels, some of the very best highlight destinations in the region. They're looking to spend a balance of time on the ship and ashore. So they're looking for those, those opportunities to get off the ship early in the morning and have full days exploring. In terms of wider trends that we're seeing in the Asia Pacific region, we're seeing that guests are now taking vacations for longer periods of time. So whereas they might have selected a 7-day cruise in the past, they're now looking at 9 and 10-day cruises. They're also spending more on their vacations, which is fantastic. They're booking higher cabins on the ship. So if they were cruising on a balcony in the past, they might now be looking at booking on a suite. And the last trend that I'll highlight is multi-generational travel, cruising with multiple family members at once. So we're seeing larger groups book with us, and we're seeing, might be the children taking their parents on board, as well as their kids. So a lot of new trends off the back of the pandemic, and they're all extremely positive for the travel industry and for cruising in particular.
Very exciting stuff. To wrap up, Ben, I understand in 2024, next year, going into 2025, the plans include adding more ships that will cruise this Asian area, Asian region. Is that right?
That's exactly right. So we're going to have 2 ships cruising in the Asia region in the 24-25 season. So Norwegian Sky will join Norwegian Jewel. Norwegian Sky is another fantastic ship. That's going to, when Norwegian Sky joins Jewel, that's going to increase our total calls in the region to 17, including 5 cruises visiting the Philippines and 5 ports of call, because we'll be adding Coron into Norwegian Sky's itinerary. So really, doubling down on our commitment to the region, doubling down on the very best destinations to visit in the region, and obviously the Philippines is one of those.
There you go. It's a great way to travel. I think everybody should experience a cruise at least once. Thank you once again, Ben, for joining us this morning here on New Day.